Hello students, my name is Pragati Misra. In our previous video, we have started group theory in which I told you the definition of groupad and semi-group with examples. Today we will discuss the third definition, that is monoid and the group. And I will discuss the examples of these two also. So watch it till the end. So firstly we will discuss about the definition of monoid. A system ZO consisting of a non-empty set G and a binary operation O is said to form a monoid if it satisfies closure property, associative law. I discussed about closure property. What was that? It was for every A comma B belongs to G, that is if each element, that is it is saying about every element of G, if these two elements are belonging to G and then if we apply the operation over these two elements, then the resultant will also belongs to G. This is closure property. And what is associative law? In that case we take three elements of the group. This is a non-empty set. I will tell you about the group as we discuss the definition of group. So this is associative law, and what it says, A operation B operation C is equal to A operation B operation C. That is, if we interchange the position of bracket, there is no change in the value if we apply the binary operation over the elements and if they hold associative law. What is existence of identity? Firstly, I want to tell you about the identity. An identity is that element of a set such that if we multiply any element of the set with identity, we get the same element. So we all know about the identity. So there exists an element E belongs to G. That is, in each set there must exist an element, that is identity, if such that if we apply any element with this identity element, we get the same element. That is, if we take A and apply the operation of this group, that is O, and with identity, then that will be equal to E operation A, and that will always give the same element, our A. So this is true for every element of this set. If you take any element of the set and apply it with the binary operation O and take any element and apply it with E, you will again get the same element. So if this property is satisfied in any set, then we can call this system as a monoid if these three properties are satisfied. And this is true for every element of the group G. Whatever element you choose from G and just apply with the identity, you will get the same element. So this property is called existence of identity. And in each set there must exist an element of this form, such that if you apply it with any element, you will always get the same element. So this property is known as existence of identity. And if a system of this form satisfies these three properties, then that system is called a monoid. So I will take one example to show how to apply the properties of monoid on any given set. Suppose I am taking the set of natural numbers and with the binary operation as usual multiplication. So if we write the algebraic structure, then that structure will be of form this. Since this is the set of natural number, that is the non-empty set G, and this is our binary operation. And now we have to show all the three properties of monoid. So first property was closure property. We know that the set of natural number contains 1, 2, 3 up to infinity. So there are infinite number of elements in that set. In order to show the closure property, firstly we have to take the two elements of this set and try to show that their product. Since we are taking multiplication as the binary operation, so we have to choose any two elements of this set and apply the multiplication over those elements. And if after multiplication the elements that we are getting is belonging to the set again, then we can say that the set is closed with respect to multiplication, or we can say the closure property is holding here. So we will see this. I am taking two elements of this set. Suppose I am taking 7 and 8. So if we take the product of these two elements, they belongs to the set of natural number. So if we take the product of these two elements, 7 into 8, so what we get, 7 8 is 56, that is also a natural number, since I told you that the natural number starts from 1 and ends up to the infinity. So this is also a natural number, so we can say that the closure property is satisfied. So our first property is satisfied in this case. In order to write it in your notes or in your notebook, we have to use a proper way, and that way is called for all a comma b belongs to n. It represents that a and b are arbitrary elements of n. Whichever element you choose from n as a and b, their product, that is a dot b or a cross b, always belongs to n. So this is the way in which you can write the closure property. Now we will discuss about the next property, that is associative property, and in this property we will take the three natural numbers. So I will tell you about these two methods with each other. So I will tell you firstly with the numbers, and then the proper way that we use in our notebook. So firstly I am taking three natural numbers. I am taking 7, 5 and 3. That all are natural numbers. So if we apply the operation, that is a into b into c is equal to a into b into c. If this condition is satisfied, then we can say that the closure property is holding here. For all, we can say for all a, b, c belongs to n. So we can check here, if we put a as 7 into 5 into 3, we get the same result, that is 105 and 105. So here you can see the closure property is also satisfying in this case, and also we know that the product of any two natural number is again a natural number. So in this way we can also understand. Now we are going to discuss the third property. And what is the third property? Firstly, I want to tell you what is the identity when our binary operation is multiplication, and what is the identity when our binary operation is usual addition. So for usual addition, 0 is the identity. This is also known as additive identity. And for usual multiplication, 1 is the identity element. 1 is identity. Since if you take any element and just add 0 into that, you will get the same element. And if you take any element, you just multiply it with 1, you will again get an element. And the property of identity is that if you apply it with any element of the set, you will get the same element. So these are the properties. If you have given an algebraic system in which addition is the binary operation, then you have to use 0 as the identity, and if you are taking a algebraic structure in which multiplication is the binary operation, then you have to use 1 as the identity. So I hope you understand this. Now in this example we are taking multiplication as the binary operation, then we have to take 1 as the identity element, and we know that 1 is the element of n. So this is the identity of this set. So in order to show the third property, firstly we take there exists an element 1 belongs to n, and this is called the identity element of the set of natural number when we are taking the algebraic structure with the binary operation as usual multiplication. So this is our identity element, and this is called multiplicative identity. So if we take any element of this set natural number, suppose I am taking 56, then if we multiply this 56 by 1 or 1 by 56, we will always get 56. So it is satisfying the condition. Or if we write it in a proper way, then we can also write that for that A operation 1, that is our multiplicative identity, is equal to 1 operation A, and our operation is usual multiplication, and that is giving me A. And this is true for every element of n. So in this way you can write it. So now we can see all the three properties of monoid are satisfied. So we can say that the system n with multiplication forms a monoid. Therefore, n with usual multiplication forms a monoid. So I hope you understand what is a monoid. Now I am going to discuss the definition of group. So the definition of group is a system GO consisting of a non-empty set G and a binary operation O is said to form a group if all the four properties are satisfied. I have discussed about these three properties, so I am going to write it directly. What is closure property? It says that for each element of the given set, if we apply these two elements of set with the given binary operation, then the resultant should also belongs to G. And what is associative law? It says that for all A, B, C belongs to G, A operation B operation C is equal to A operation B operation C. And existence of identity. It depends that our binary operation is what. If it is usual addition, then we use 0 as the additive identity, and if it is usual multiplication, then we use 1 as the multiplicative identity. But if nothing is given, we take E as the identity element of the given set G. So there exists, this is the symbol of there exists, this is also quantifier. So there exists an element E belongs to G called an identity element of G, such that if you apply any element with this identity element, we will get the same element, and this is true for every element of the given set. Now we will discuss the last and the fourth properties of this system, that is group, and that is existence of inverse. It says that for every element of the group, for every element of this set, there exists an inverse. The inverses are also of two types. If the binary operation is addition, then we use additive inverse, and if it is multiplication, then we use multiplicative inverse. So this property, that is existence of inverse, states that for each element of the group G, there exists an element A inverse belongs to G called inverse of A, such that if we multiply the element with its inverse, we'll always get an identity element of the group. So if a system GO satisfies all the three properties, that is closure, associative, existence of identity, existence of inverse, then that system is called, or that system is said to form a group. And I want to repeat this property again, that if this is true for every element, that is for each element of the group G, there exists no such element whose inverse does not exist. That is, it is saying for all element of the group, there exists an element A inverse. That is, for every element there exists an inverse, and such that if we multiply or if we operate it with the binary operation, if we operate the inverse of the element with the element with the binary operation, then we get always the identity. So I hope you understand this. Now I will take one example to show what is the definition of this and how to apply this on a given set with given binary operation. So our example is the system Z plus, that is the set of integers with the usual multiplication, usual addition as the binary operation, always forms the groups. So in order to this system form a group, firstly we have to check all the four properties, that is closure property, associative law, existence of identity, and existence of inverse. So firstly we check the closure property is satisfied or not. So since this is the binary operation and this is usual addition, so we all know that the sum of two integers is again an integer. So the closure property is satisfied, because in closure property we state that if you take any two element of the given set and apply the binary operation over those two elements, you will always get the element of the set. So this is satisfied. So we can say that the closure property is satisfied, since we can say that the sum of two integer is integer. So I can write for all AB belongs to Z, A plus B belongs to Z. If you want to write the statement, then you can write that the sum of two integer is again an integer. And now what is the closure property? Closure property is satisfied. Now what is associative law? Associative law. Now we will take three elements of the integer set. So for all A, B, C belongs to Z, A plus B plus C is equal to A plus B plus C. So associative law is also satisfied in this case. You can take any three integers and just check. You will always get that the result is true for each and every integer. Now I will check the third property, that is existence of identity. Since this group is defined with the binary operation as usual addition, and I told you that the additive identity is 0. So we can write there exists an element at the place of identity we use 0. 0 belongs to Z, such that if we take any element of the set of integer and add with 0, then we get the same element. And this is true for every element of the set Z. So we can say existence of identity is also satisfied. Now we will check for the last property of the group, that is existence of inverse. Existence of inverse states that for each A belongs to Z, there exists an element A inverse, and A inverse will be of form additive inverse. Since we are taking plus as the binary operation, so we have to take additive inverse here. And I want to tell you what is additive inverse. If A is some element, in that case additive inverse is equal to minus A, since we all know about it. So I don't think I have to say this, but I am telling you that if A is an element and you want to find the additive identity, then that is minus A. And if A is an element and you want to multiplicative inverse, want to find the multiplicative inverse, then that will be equal to 1 by A. So in this way you can find the inverse of any element. Since here we have to take the additive identity, since our binary operation is addition, so we will take minus A belongs to Z, such that we have to write it here. A with our binary operation applied with its inverse, and if we take minus A, our binary operation, and apply with the given our element, then we get 0. And this is the identity of our group. So we can say this also belongs to Z. So we can see that existence of inverse is also satisfied, because this property states that A operation A inverse is equal to A inverse operation A, and that is equal to the identity of the group. And this is true for every element. So we can see all the four properties of the group are satisfied in this case. So we can say that the system Z plus forms a group. So I hope you understand the concept of group. In our next video we will discuss about the abelian group, and that is also known as commutative group. In that video I will take some more examples of group, so that the concept of group will be more clear to you. Okay, so I hope you like my content. If you are liking my content, please subscribe my channel. Thank you.